Hello Gundam fans, and welcome back to an episode of Gundam Model Reviews. This is the real grade line number 4 MS-06S Zaku 2 Chars Custom, and then the green Chars Zaku. So without further ado, well, let's go ahead and get into one of the most iconic mobile suits of all time. Now, the reason I have the other two here is because technically they share the exact same frame, exact same build as the Char Red Comet Zaku number 2. So today's review is just going to be overall. These are technically the 4th release in it, and well, the reason I have 2 on the table is because when you buy one Zaku, you got to give him a friend. Because Char's got to have more than one. He's special. Anyway, though, let's go ahead and get into this review. We'll start with the Char. So the Char here comes with as seen. In fact, everything on here comes out of the box. There's a little customization. I don't know where all the parts are because I built these a long time ago, but there's all the stuff. He's got his little X right here. He's got a bazooka on his back, which has a little peg right there. And then over on this side, you got the traditional machine gun. I don't know what this is, Gatling gun, technically. It's something along those lines on there. So weapon-wise, he's fully loaded. Also, you can open in the front here if you get a front view of him. You can open the hatch, and all these do the same thing. That's why they're all going to be reviewed at the same video, because it doesn't make sense to do 2 different videos for the same thing. Just a color variation. So the chest does open, which is a little bit hard to open, but you can open it up and you can see him in. Because the reason there we go. Okay, there's no pilot because it's a real grade, but there is a pilot seat. So yeah, I need something. This kit is definitely not the best kit. Grabbing another master grade Zaku weapon just to pull the hatch back down, but it definitely suffers from that early real grade. In fact, this guy right here, I've had to do alterations to his waist because him holding the bazooka like that, because that's how I have him actually on my shelf. He likes to lean forward, and so once I fixed it, it was okay. But he liked to lean forward, and it's because of that inner frame, because there is an inner frame inside of here. So that's how the old real grades were. They just had that frame. So things that move on this. So the arms move. You definitely get a movement here. I'm not going to move the hands because the one thing with a lot of these older real grades is that these guns will fall out. So yeah, they're really bad for their actual, like, holding their weapons. So I'm not going to mess with his hands too much, but I'll mess with this one since it is. But it is the typical 3 fingers, 1 flexible index finger, or pointer finger, and then the thumb that moves. So it does the same thing on the other side, which again I'm not going to mess with because, like I said, these kits are they're kind of hand grenadey. They're not the worst hand grenades. I'd say this one would put a little dent in the ground if it was a hand grenade. It wouldn't blow up a whole entire building, but it would put a dent. So that's why I'm being very careful with holding it. Because if you do too much to it, things are going to fall off, especially this. So this is my one complaint. Just because it has a holder, it doesn't work very well. So in order to do some of the articulation here, I'm going to remove that. And I'm actually, I'm not even going to worry about this one. I'm going to do one of the Zaku 2s, one of the green ones. This guy just has this. If this falls out, I ain't going to cry. If that falls out, I'm going to be sitting here for 20 minutes trying to figure out how to put it back in there. So, anyway, let's start with the leg movements. Here we do have this, so whenever you're purchasing this, keep in mind, all these have to be put on here because it comes separate. It does have a little rod that helps and to get it on the spring, but overall you have to get that. And of course, the major issue is, again, early real grades weren't the best for their frames, so a lot of things fall off. Now, these ones, I'm not going to say they're the worst, but they're still not the best. So yeah, there's like this weird like bend here, and you can definitely do that. What's really neat is the plate right here can actually move to show the innards as it flexes. So articulation of the leg's pretty okay. Kicking up. Yep, he can kick up. How far can it go back? Not far because it falls off. And of course the side plate is skirting. Let's see how well that moves up because it's already moved. He can do a nice little ballerina stance and there we go. Alright. it snaps in there. It just doesn't like to stay in there. And as you can tell, the skirting does move up, and another piece fell off. Up and down, side to side. You can wiggle that. Butt flap, you can move the butt flap up and down, and of course there's that little piece that I had for the bazooka. All of them have that. Because again, literally they're the same kit, different color scheme. These right here, on the other hand, are the most pain in the ass things ever. The reason these aren't glued in for me is because they still need to move if you were to like put them in a pose. So they go right there, and of course they move up and down. They just fall off really easy. Now let's see here, and hi friend. So the feet have an interesting mechanism because they're actually really neat because they can actually move all the way. I'm not even bending the joint in the foot. This is the actual joint. Wiggle, wiggle. But it actually has a whole, the inner frame here and the separation allows for the actual foot to be moved around. It's actually quite flexible. I'm going to give them credit on that. It's actually nice. Because it allows them to stand in weird surfaces. So that's it. The waist, of course. I'm doing this one, not that one, because that one's already had alterations to fix the waist. The waist swerves around. You can get them in a little over that way, a little over that way. And then we got the arms. Like I said, these are a little bit different. Well, this one, I decided to actually use the stationary hands. So yeah, you get two hand options. You get these hands, which are the stationary dynamic hands, and then these ones. I use those ones for holding weapons and stuff, but they're a pain in the ass. But then you have these ones that you could just kind of like, I just wanted him to hold his weapon, so a Zaku running at you with his hip palm open, there you go. So you can have that option. Stickers are on here as well, which they're starting to fall off already. I didn't top coat it. So we're going to go ahead and give it that arm movement. Let's see how well he can move that arm all the way up. That's pretty good. This plate again moves to kind of allow for some movement on the arm. We're going to move that back down into that position. The shoulder movement right here is pretty nice. Not the best. I mean, you can pretty much make it go all the way forward. I mean, it's pretty okay. And then we're going to move the shoulder plate because these plates move individually because there is, I don't know which one of these has it, but one of them, the actual peg broke. But there's a piece right in here that allows for it to go, I think it's this one. Was the one that broke. It didn't break again, but it could. But, well, it's off already. I'll fix this off camera. This right here allows for it to move up and down. So, there we go. A little rough because I don't play with these guys because they, like I said, there's issues. There's small issues. So that's what it looks like on the inside of the arm. This one has the same thing. Moves up and down too. So we're going to get to the head. So in the head, there's actually, I don't remember how to move the eye, but you can actually, yeah, oh, it moves with the neck. There we go. It moves with the neck. There we go. So the eye inside, I will try to do this. It'll move with the actual neck. It's hard to tell. But it does move in there, and the sticker in there actually fell off just now. Good job. So, and then same with these guys right here. Like with these, all of this is movable, so you have to actually pull that out of the box and put it on, each one individually. There is like a rod that helps a bunch, but it sometimes doesn't always make a difference. Now, the head movement up and down, he can give you the nod. He can say no way. And there's a horn. Like I said, these are little, I don't play with these. These guys go on the shelf, and I put them in a pose, and that's how they stay. Now for the back side, this is how the full back looks. Like I said earlier, the butt flap does move. It's actually nice. These little rocket things move. I'm not going to move too much, because again, these will fall apart. So that's pretty much the review of the Zaku. The reason I'm not picking up the Char one or the other one is because this one's a little bit easier to move. I don't know why this one's held up the best. I don't know if it's just the quality of the production, so we will see now. Anyway, these kits right here, I would say, let's go ahead and give them a rating, because I wanted to do this from the beginning. So I will make that part of the opening, and you'll hear that in the opening. These kits right here, I will give a 10 out of 10, or about an 8 out of 8 for, like, posability, because once they're in a pose, as long as they don't start losing that pose, because again, the inner frame will, they look amazing in that pose. I can't find a complaint whenever they're in a pose. They just look great. Like these kits aesthetically look incredible. And now for buildability, I'll give them an 8. They're really interesting they're really fun to build. They had no issues in the build other than this one breaking in the shoulder. And that was probably my stupid doing something dumb. But when it comes to durability, they're not very durable. They're really not. Like I said, they look great in a pose. You keep them in that pose, and that's the way it's going to be. There's no arguing with them. Simple. So, that, though, I will give probably like a 2 out of 10. No, I'll give it a 3. They're a little bit better than most real grades that I've built. But that's pretty much it for these. So, overall, I'm going to give the Zaku's, my triplets here, probably a 6 out of 10 for a real grade. It's good to purchase. I just would warn that out of the box you may need to do some alterations to them to be able to hold up with that old inner frame. So that's why it's not going to get like a 7 or an 8. It's going to get a 6 because, again, they do look fantastic. We'll pick up the char just to give you the char run around and the look of it all the way around it. So there it is. It looks fantastic. So anyway, that is a 6 out of 10. I might change my mind. I might do a different Gundam ranking system. I have one in mind. I'm trying to work out the quirks, but for the second video, that's going to be it for this video. If you're liking these videos, go and hit the like and subscribe. Leave a comment. Tell me your experience with building your Zakus. Tell me, is the high grade better than the real grade when it comes to the build? Well, the build's probably going to be better on the real grade, but more like, is the playability on the high grade better than the real grade? Leave that comment down below, and I'll see you in the next one.